What is going on, YouTube? My name is Coco Puff X or Medi, and welcome to my channel. This is the first video, and just here to kind of explain what the channel is about a little bit. The gameplay that you're watching right now is the finals. Played a few rounds with my buddy and decided to press record on one of these rounds. So I didn't even watch the gameplay before throwing it into the video editor over here. But hopefully, you see some good-ish gameplay. I'm not the best at the game, but it is what it is, right? So what do I want this channel to be about? The age-old question. So I've been watching YouTube since about 2009-ish, since I was a young kid, young ass wee lad. Um, I was watching YouTube during that peak Smosh Nigahiga era um, where YouTube was kind of like an awkward little thing. There wasn't really a lot of these celebrities on YouTube. It was like kind of a niche thing almost back when. Um, at the time, I was a little too young. I felt like I was a little too young to be on, to be on YouTube making videos. And now I'm at the ripe age of 24. So, you know, whatever that means, right? This is the time that I have decided to kind of go all in. Go all into gaming as a whole. I'm a huge console gamer, but the video that the gameplay that you're watching right now of the finals is on PC because I just recently bought a PC to kind of start my whole YouTube dream. It's always been a dream watching all those older YouTubers, all those older gamers during like that COD era, that CS:GO era, that Halo, Apex, those gamers, right? Watching them as I was growing up, and I've always thought, man, I can definitely do that. That is something that I can put my time and effort to. And, guess what? I got price locked out of it. Yes, I actually didn't start working a job until I was about 16, 17, and I didn't really have a space to kind of record in private, or with at least a little bit of peace and quiet. You know what I mean? It gets kind of hard in that sense, but yeah, this I'm a big, to kind of talk a little bit more about myself as a whole. I'm a big, what do you say, nerd, right? Big nerd for games. I watch a lot of anime and TV, like cartoon shows. Growing up, I've always kind of been stuck in that mentality of I believe like cartoons and anime are just a little better than live action TV. Not to say that I wasn't watching stuff like Disney Channel, like Drake and Josh on Nickelodeon, like those types of shows. But I just prefer talking about cartoons, anime. Recently watched a pretty neat show that I think I'm going to talk about later in another video. But I recently watched Dororo. I don't know how many people have ever heard of it or seen it, but that you know, I'll go more in depth in another video. But that show pretty good. Um, so some of the games that I think I'm gonna get my hands on and make a video about. I've been playing a lot of One Piece TCG. I don't know how many people have ever played that game, but I'm a huge One Piece fan. I think a lot of anime people, like people who watch anime, anime watchers, as you will, um, have started on the trend of watching, stuff like Dragon Ball Z, right? the kind of the gate that was kind of my gateway anime outside of like stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, but those are so mainstream. Like those anime is like they're so mainstream that like at some point you just gotta say that they're beyond anime. You know what I mean? Um, but I watch stuff like Dragon Ball, um, a lot of SpongeBob. A lot of SpongeBob watching happens in this house in with my friends and girlfriend and all that. But yeah, I didn't, sorry to go on this huge tangent, but stuff that I want to do with the channel, I want to obviously talk about, the games that I'm playing and, the stuff that I watch. But the main reason for me making the channel as a whole is kind of to get out of that, like, comfort zone. I've always watched YouTube, you know. I watch YouTube when I'm going to the gym these days. Like when I'm bored out of my mind at home, I'll have a YouTube video up when I'm cooking or when I'm trying to get some quick work done or when I'm in the car. And I always thought it was entertaining to see all these interesting personalities. And I kind of want to do the same thing. I want to be that person that I admire. You know what I mean? Like that person where I can I can be playing in their car on their way to work, um, and they're having a good time watching my videos. You know what I mean? Um, as you can tell from just my how I speak as a whole, um, I throw a lot of filler words into my speech, you know, um, but hopefully down the line I can be a little better on getting my points across a little faster. But again, like a lot of the talks that I want to go on are like anime power scaling. Like that's huge for me. Me and my buddies go back and forth about like power scalings or like tier lists. Again, a lot of video games, a lot of gaming as a whole. I want to throw in some story times in there. You know, I had I don't know how interesting my life is, but I have a few stories that I feel like I should get out there based off the reactions of my buddies when I tell them those stories and all that. But again, the whole point of this channel is to kind of get my ideas out there, have a voice. A lot of people kind of don't really have that voice to express themselves, and I feel like this is just a huge platform just of expression. You know what I mean? Um, so I want to be able to express myself, express some ideas. Obviously, do the things that I love to do, and bring you guys on for the ride. Um, so yes, so we're coming to the end of this clip. I actually don't know how long this gameplay is. This gameplay has kind of been going on for a while. Um, you know, it's looking like we're it's looking like we're at least coming to the end of this W. I don't know. It looks like we're dubbing it out here. Um, but yeah, stick around. Next video is releasing very soon. It's probably gonna be one of the One Piece card games. Kind of just to show a little bit about how to play the card game a little bit. Pretty niche, but you know, still fun nonetheless. So thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you guys later.